and hang on.
Motor Madness.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Moriarty, and welcome to TNN's Motor Madness. This U.S. Off-Road Series has got to be one of the coolest shows around. Now, there's 5 different classes. You got jumps, bumps, bruises, air. But let me tell you, you really do have some serious jumps. And we'll tell you more about all that as the show goes on. But first, let me bring in my partners, Mr. Hogwood and Mr. Douglas. Guys, you seem pretty excited about tonight's U.S. Off-Road show. Tell us about it.
Well, Dan, there's a reason to get excited tonight as we look at these great off-road vehicles getting ready to race here at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. Super night for racing. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood, along with Scott Douglas. Welcome to Motor Madness. This is a different type of show than we've had the last couple of weeks.
But it's going to be every bit as exciting. We're going to see just literally dozens of competitors going to war. The 6th race of the season, and we're going to get a look at the super modified buggy where Corey Witherell's trying to defend his championship. There you see in the second 5 how they're stacking up right now, trying to move up this week. In Stadium Lights, paraplegic Joe Price. What a great story. He leads the season point standings. And again, 6 through 10, these are the folks trying to really make some noise this week on Motor Madness. Stadium Sport Trucks, it's Jerry Welcho, and look at this. Leo Donnell, Stacy Pike, they're all tight together. It's going to be a real battle as guys try to move into position.
Well, a lot on the line as we go to the 6th race of the season. We'll get underway with those super modified buggies coming up. Road action tonight. We're going to take a look at 3 different classes of off-road vehicles, starting with the Stadium Lights, these single-seaters. About a 500cc engine. There's something.
They are exciting, and so are the super modified buggies. Basically a larger version of the Stadium Light. Got a little more engine. They got a lot more engine, but they're also bigger and heavier.
And they are the Stadium Sport Trucks. Any mini or mid-size truck with a 4 or 6-cylinder engines. They do alter these suspensions. You'd have to the way that they go.
All 3 classes have to run this awesome Pace Motorsports course, too.
And it is an awesome course. More on what's happening from Dan Moriarty.
What's it like to drive a Sand Gnat? As if you wanted to know? Well, in case you did, you're looking at it. A super modified buggy. 4-wheeled, unlimited chassis. These guys can do anything to them, and they do. And they drive that way also.
Well, these super modified buggies have been having an awesome year. They started it off in the St. Louis, Missouri Trans World Dome, and right off the bat, it was Jerry Welcho in the number 12 getting a victory in St. Louis to start the season off.
Yeah, and Corey Witherell, though, has been the big name in this sport for a long time. And in Houston, he was the winner there, and he is our points leader still.
Then in Minneapolis, Jimmy Nichols able to come up with the victory before they headed to Edison Field in Anaheim, California. Great action there, and it was Larry Fodrell able to move to the front. You can see how competitive this series is. It is very tough to win twice.
And then in Phoenix, last time out, Corey Witherell was the winner. His 2nd win of the season. He's the points leader. And I would say that he is probably the guy to beat tonight.
The defending champion.
Let's find out about this course, how you make the pass.
Everything on these tracks is timing. From your tabletops to your moguls, it's all about timing. If you get screwed up in the middle, it looks easy because it looks like the truck is just floating across the top when actually you're on and off the gas pedal, just trying to hit them jumps just right.
If you see my car move to the outside, coming up to a hairpin turn, a 180-degree turn, then you can be pretty sure that I'm going to make my shot to the inside on it.
I give him 2 turns, and if he's still in my way, I move him.
If I'm following somebody real close, then I'm going to be nudging him. He's running too slow for me. And if I move to the outside, then I'm going to shoot in on him.
I give him a couple chances. That's all he gets.
Wow, it's intense, it's hot, it's coming up next. Our first heat race. Witherell's machine ready to roll. Let's find out a little more about him with Dan Moriarty.
As a member of the Navajo Nation, you feel a sense of family, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about your immediate family.
Well, I was adopted. I was adopted by Carol and Liston, and pretty much probably the two most kindest people anyone could ever meet. I mean, they had 2 kids themselves and adopted 8 others. And I have a brother that's Hawaiian and a sister that's Mexican, and so there's a lot of different races in our family.
How did that kind of a childhood help you in this world?
It's different. I mean, we kind of grew up like the Brady Bunch. I mean, we did all the family vacations. We did all the trips to Grand Canyon, ski trips. Of course, there's like 3 girls and 3 boys, and we had a housekeeper and a dog, so it's just perfect for a Brady Bunch.
What's the nicest or most moving thing then that's happened to you from some little Navajo Indian child? Because I'm sure they probably don't know there's a race car driver out there who's just like me. I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I after the Phoenix race, I went up to the Navajo Nation for 3 days and visited with 8 to 10 schools out there, like 200, 300 kids at each school, and showed them like video of one of my races and everything, and they're just like, ah, just all yelling, came up and signed autographs. And as far as myself, it's good for me because I'm like a role model to them. I mean, I don't see myself as a celebrity or anything like that. I just see myself doing something that I enjoy, and that's racing. When I think of like a celebrity, I think of like a movie star or something. But to them, they look at me as like a celebrity. So, I mean, to me, it feels great that they do because then maybe I could help them out.
A great guy, great story, Corey Witherell, and what he means to this sport and to a lot of people.
Yeah, and he's just not competing at this level. He is the class of this field right now, the defending champion and the current point leader. And looky here, he's on the point again.
Yeah, he got that hole shot, which is the first one of that first tight corner. And it looks like he is off and running here in our first heat race.
He comes away with the victory. Checkered flag for Corey Witherell.
Corey, how's the car handling?
The car's handling great, you know. They just watered a track before we went out there. You know, the track's starting to get better towards the end, but it was slippery at first. But with my Goodyear tires, you know, we had awesome hookup. Little Joe and Jim Alexander from Goodyear got us dialed in with Goodyear tires, so it went great. It went great. You know, we just got a good start and took off from there. So hopefully now we just got to win the main event.
Here are the results from heat number 1. The top 2 go in, Corey Witherell and Gary Nierock.
And in the second heat race, Jimmy Nichols came away the winner. Auto dealer Henry Brown ended up second. He'll also move into the main event.
Now we're getting ready for heat number 3, and in this is Dwight Lundell. An interesting story there. He's a heart surgeon, and he's also a pretty good race driver. And we'll get more from him also with Dan Moriarty on the heart surgeon Dwight Lundell.
All right, Doc, let me see your hands. Put that other one out there. Okay, they're not shaking.
Nope, they're not shaking.
Why do you do this?
Well, I do this because it's so exciting and it's so much fun. I don't think there's a bigger thrill that I've had than flying over these jumps wheel to wheel, competing with people who are skilled at doing this, and it's just a big thrill.
Now, see, you say there's probably not a bigger thrill than flying over these jumps. Most people, though, when they find out you're a heart surgeon, would think, wait a minute, holding a heart in his hands and saving someone's life has to be pretty exciting.
Well, it is pretty exciting, but that carries with it a huge responsibility. I have someone else's life in my hand in that circumstance. In this circumstance, only my life's at risk. You know, I'm not stressed at work. I'm not a very good racer, but I'm a very good surgeon, and so this is actually more stress than working.
We'll find out because he's in this heat right now, and he has to take on Jerry Welchel, who really needs the win in this heat. There's a tight point battle going on between him, Corey Witherell, and Jimmy Nichols. Witherell and Nichols already have heat race wins.
And it's Jerry Welchel, who is in that white truck, number 12, who is out front early. I like the way he runs that outside line, and as he takes those turns, goes a little outside and then dumps back in. Number 9, that's Dwight, the surgeon. A little trouble on that turn there. Actually had to come to a stop as he got past.
Final lap coming to the checkers, and indeed, Jerry Welchel is able to match Nichols and Witherell. They'll all go to the main event and all have great starting spots.
Jerry Welchel, our winner. Let's hear from him right now.
Hey, so far so good. That's a first place there in the buggy. Now we just got to keep it going in the truck. Course is great. A lot of passing room, good jumps. I mean, great for the crowd.
Racing buggies and trucks, does that help you out or tire you out?
I think it helps me out because when I can drive the buggy first, I can always find out what line to run, where the holes are, and that kind of stuff. So I think it's a big advantage myself.
Things are true to form. Jimmy Nichols, Corey Witherall, Jerry Welchel, they all win their heat.
So that looks like that puts us all in the front row, so it's going to be a battle in the main event.
That main is going to be something. Welchel and Gary Gall will advance.
Moving to the fourth heat race, the victory went to Wes Elrod out of Gilroy, California. And the much-improved Steve Sollenbach finished second.
And in heat number 5, Larry Fodrell and Don Colt will move on now to the main event. Well, we've got more action. We're going to move to the stadium lights. Well, these things are exciting on this course. Stay tuned. Time now for another USHRA update. Let's take a look at some monster trucks in Minneapolis.
At the Metrodome, Gravedigger doing what Gravedigger does best, which is putting the hammer down and gaining another victory, moving into the final round.
Avenger also looking pretty strong. Get a little off course there.
But he got her straightened out. Then on to the finals. Gravedigger able to pick up the victory, give the win to the Digger team.
Time now for our Jargon Jam.
Hole shot? You have got the hole shot.
And that guy has the hole shot. The hole shot is when you're the first rider after the start into the first obstacle, whether it's a turn or over a jump, whatever, kind of is the first thing you get to on the track that defines that person is leading.
It's not really a groove, it's just the first one there, the first one out. It can be pretty much anywhere on the track. As long as you come out of the first turn first, you have got the hole shot.
It's just getting a jump off the start when the green flag goes, being the first one off the line.
The tabletops was brought to us by Pace. In the other series that we ran, we didn't have tabletops. We had some doubles, but the tabletop has turned into the highest flying jumps we've had. We're going somewhere around 20 feet high and over 70 feet long, and that's a pretty good pass in football. And this is a 2,000-pound car almost, so it's unique and it's good for the spectators. They love it.
Tabletops are just one big, huge lump of dirt, really. No, they make it, it's probably about 70 feet long. They have 2 ramps on each side. You try to, as best you can, take off from one side and land perfectly on the other with a nice little flat surface in between.
Yeah, there is the word on the Jargon Jam. Some of the words around in this series. Now we're taking a look at stadium lights, catching you up. This is St. Louis, and the winner is Joe Price, who is our points leader right now.
And you know, Joe Price is paralyzed from the waist down. He drives with special hand controls, and he doesn't take a back seat to anybody. As you can see, he comes up and wins again in Houston and then in Minneapolis. 3 in a row to start the season.
Now, we had 5 events before ours here tonight in San Diego. In Anaheim, it was Bob Briggs who took the checkered flag.
And just to make sure that we stay competitive in this points race, Briggs won again at Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix and then capped it off with his celebration. Only this one got a little bit extra aggressive. Everything all right, though, in this stadium light. We'll see Briggs racing against his son later tonight, too.
I like these guys. I really do. All right, we're back here in San Diego in our heat number 2, and you know who's out in front? The guy you were just talking about, Scott, Bob Briggs. He has got a dominant buggy.
So it's, again, Briggs is just the man on the mission right now. Red hot, coming off 2 feature race victories, and he adds a heat tonight.
And as you said, he will be racing against his son later in these single-seater machines. Dan Moriarty has comments from Bob Briggs.
Bob, tell me about the track.
Oh, the track is great. You know, we come out of here out of the trailer on Friday morning, and the car was perfect, and the track was just great. And the second practice, this morning's practice, and of course the heat races today, the track never changes. They do such a good job of maintaining it, the building it, making sure there's just enough water in the thing that, you know, we can pick a setup early on Friday and just stick with it.
besides maybe the pressure that every racer feels when he or she is racing, it looks like a hell of a lot of fun in these little stadium lights.
You know, I got involved in this years ago because it was affordable, it was fun, and they progressed into first-class race cars, and the fun meter is just always pegged in these things. I mean, that's why we come here. I come here with my son. He was in the first heat race, led for a little bit, got it upside down, needs a little refining on his driving style. But, you know, we're here to have fun. Bottom line, that's what we're here for.
What a great way for a father and son to spend the weekend.
Oh, it beats the daylights out of sitting at home watching TV. I'd rather be doing this than sitting at home watching it. And, you know, for years, that's what I did. I sat in the stands and watched this thing, and now I'm out there doing it. It just don't get any better.
Thanks, Bob. See you later on.
Thanks a lot.
All right, congrats to Bob Briggs. Now, in that first heat, it was Todd Whitman, Joe Price, and Denise Whitman, the Whitman family.
Yeah, the husband and wife getting a first and a third. And as you saw, Briggs comes away the winner over Tim Baker and Roland Smith, all heading for the main out of Heat 2.
And a little later on, we're going to talk more about Joe Price. As you said, he is paralyzed from the waist down. We'll hear more from that a little later on, and we got more racing coming up as well. Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas back on Motor Madness. Let's catch you up on the series in the sport trucks. Jason Crowder was the winner in St. Louis, the first event of the season. I like the way he got that thing up on its side.
Yeah, but he kept her on all four wheels, which is the key to making sure you're ready for next week. In Houston, though, was Chris Brandt bringing the number 5 home the winner, even though Crowder was able to retain the early point lead. Then Lee O'Donnell got it going and won in Minneapolis.
Jerry Welchel, who drives in 2 different divisions here, was the Anaheim winner.
And Welchel and O'Donnell have quite a point battle going. We'll talk about more in a minute. But Chris Brandt actually became the first 2-time winner when he picked up the most recent victory at Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix. Still, at the top of the points list right now, Lee O'Donnell and Jerry Welchel are actually tied for the lead. So Brandt would love to beat these guys again and start moving in the Stadium Sport Truck class at the top spot.
And Jerry Welchel in for one busy night tonight. Well, let's go to Heat 1 of the Stadium Sports Trucks.
Right off the bat, we're going to get a look. Number 23, Lee O'Donnell out of Bayonne, New Jersey. One of the points leaders is in this one. Stacy Pike, also from Kingman, Arizona, number 17. We'll keep our eye on Stacy. Currently 3rd in points behind O'Donnell and Welchel, who are in that dead heat. And boy, you talk about a dead heat. Those two come across the finish line in a side-by-side battle for first.
Stacy Pike on the outside there in the 17 out of Kingman, Arizona, is taking a bit of the lead. See him going up in the air there? Says he loves to fly in these trucks, loves those tabletops, and Stacy Pike
loves the checkered flag, too.
That checkered flag, and he just took it here in heat number 1. Congrats to Stacy Pike, who is our winner and advances on.
Heat number 2, and again, a full field coming at it as they get off the starting line right off the bat. And this is going to be Jerry Welchel trying to make up the ground here and actually hopefully gain some points on Lee O'Donnell, who did not win his heat.
Well, taking the checkered flag, indeed, it was Jerry Welchel. But there's a bit of controversy about this. Let's find out more about it.
Jerry, what happened?
I don't know. I just was driving a normal race, man. Guys were going wide in the corners. They were stopping in the corners, but, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
I mean, you're driving so well in these. You're driving so well in the buggies. What can you do to regroup now for your next race?
Well, I'm just going to go back, work on the truck. It was spitting and sputtering in the corners a little bit. I don't know where they got this rough driving, but, you know, typical. You give them a good show, and they've docked you for it. So, you know, we're just going to go back, regroup, and make the best of it.
You got more races ahead of you tonight.
Yeah, 2 more. 1 more in the buggy and 1 more in the truck, and hopefully we can keep the streak going.
Give them hell, man.
Thank you.
Jerry Welchel not at all happy. Stacy Pike wins in Heat 1. Lee O'Donnell, strong number 2.
And that gives the win to Chris Brandt. Bob Byer with Welchel getting set back to 3rd.
We told you about Joe Price, an inspirational story you don't want to miss.
Your car.
Stars revving it up in Salinas. Monster Jam is the event of the spring at Salinas Fairgrounds. And if you haven't snagged your tickets yet, now's the time. You've seen the monsters on TNN Motor Madness Monster Jam. Now see them live and larger than life with 10,000 metal mashing pounds of fun and fury. These guys don't pull any punches. They're full-blown, high-powered, hair-raising monsters. Just log on at pacemotorsports.com. Haven't
Right now, let's learn some more about our points leader in Stadium Lights, Joe Price.
It just gives me something to do, gets my adrenaline going. The people here are great. It's kind of a vacation for me to get out and travel around the country and race my car, and just a good time.
But it's different for you than any other driver.
Yeah, because I have to deal with hand controls. But basically, once we're in the car, it's pretty much an even-up deal.
You talk about the car. It's a special car. How does it work? Explain it to me.
It has a FL350 steering wheel out of a Honda Odyssey. It has a thumb throttle and hand brakes. And we all used to use that type of system years ago. But the suspension's got better now where the guys can keep their feet on the gas or brake pedal. In the old days, the suspension was so bad, you couldn't keep your feet on those.
So the guys used their hands anyway?
The guys used their hands anyways, yeah. In 1981, racing motocross in Fresno, California, I got off on a double jump and broke my back. So it paralyzed me from the chest down. And we just got used to it, you know, but this gave me another form of racing. And so it's just been exciting and good for me. It's good for me.
Hey, we'll watch Joe Price race coming up in just a moment. It's a Stadium Lights shootout here on TNN's Motor Madness.
Oh, I'd like as much as they can put on it.
Ready for some Stadium Lights action? It should be pretty good.
Ought to be an outstanding main event coming up, and there you get a look at the starting grid. Well, we were talking about the Briggs gang earlier. There you see Bo with a second row starting position. And then in row 3, we're keeping an eye on another of the ladies, Dee McJuck and Whitman, trying to come through the field. Denise Whitman, her daughter-in-law's on the front row.
It's the Whitman family. They're all here racing. And Joe Price is #1. We saw his story just a moment ago. Little bottleneck there at that first turn, which is so important.
What is critical, because everybody is headed there at the same time, and you just got to try and find a way to get through. And those who are able to get negotiated through that first turn tend to get up front. Look at this mess. Oh, my. We have super lights just going every which way, but they got them all straightened out. We're going again.
And meanwhile, out in front, that is 23, Bo Briggs. That's the son of Bob Briggs. Dad can't be at all happy.
Richard Kosar, who's been in a tight point battle with Joe Price, has moved up into second. He's trying to make up some ground. You know, last year it was Kosar coming down to the final race of the year in a battle with Joe Price in Pontiac that was decided by 2 points on the last corner of the last lap.
Meanwhile, Bo Briggs goes by the stopped machine. That is number 96 of Ron Buccieri, who came to a halt on the course.
Well, Bo Briggs isn't stopping, though. He is flat checked out on this field. Look at him.
I love the air that these things get. The Stadium Lights, they can really get up off the ground. Look at that.
Well, they got a ton of power. You know, pound for pound, they've still got strong engines, lots of horsepower, but they don't have a whole lot of weight to them, so they can really fly.
Bo Briggs flying on the ground and in the air. There is another stalled machine. That was Steven Nelson, number 25.
It is tough on this course. You've got to be able to keep it rolling and, again, be able to get some clean air, run the nice line. That's why Briggs is in such great shape right now. Everybody else is just trying to fight through the pack to come take a run at it.
You see the 18 machine of Stacy Fay trying to make a run. Oh, there's one that is flipped back over. Roland Smith, after he flipped, got turned back around.
Joe Price is currently 5th there, Mike. He's trying to work his way up as we get away, and they got the 31 car back up on all 4 wheels. But Price has got a long way to go to work back up towards your leader, the number 23 of Bo Briggs.
Really strong is Bo Briggs, who's trying to maybe put one on his dad here.
Well, he's putting a lap on Paul Sutton right there, or you're trying to, as he comes up on the outside of him. Now he'll set him up, move to the inside of the hairpin, and indeed, he has moved himself a lap ahead.
Which just tells you how strong that machine that he has under him is.
He is. He's cutting through the field. He's trying to lap everybody, Mike.
Early in the show, Dad said, hey, he had to work on his driving style a little bit. Had to work on some technique. Looks like technique's doing pretty good here in San Diego tonight.
Sonya Boyd just went a lap down, and Briggs is flat getting it here in San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium. Very impressive performance by Bo Briggs, trying to follow up the 2 victories in a row of Dad.
Well, you know his dad is looking back, waiting for his move, and isn't going to let the son take this without some kind of a battle. But Bo Briggs right now, as you see him take that hairpin turn, and as this course, there are so many different facets and aspects to it with the tabletop jumps that you see there, and then those tight hairpin turns.
They're going to have a long way to go, though, to track this guy down. I mean, Bo's just having a great run, although Bob Briggs is coming after him.
He's in second place now. Bob Briggs has moved up to second and is going to try to catch his son. Bob Briggs is in that number 24.
This is going to be what you call a family feud, I think, as we head to the final laps. But Bob is definitely coming.
Look at that move there around that turn on the inside. And there is Bo trying to hold on to it, stay out front. But there, as you can see, Dad is now within shouting distance as the white flag is out.
Final lap, though, I just don't see it unless there's a mistake on the part of Bo Briggs that Bob can track him down, because he's still got too much ground to make up on the final lap.
We'll wait and see. It appears the machine is slowed. It has it in stop.
Oh, look at him. He's beating on the steering wheel. He can't believe it.
Oh, my.
Oh, what disappointment for Bo Briggs. Indeed, Dad's going to win it, but Bo Briggs is just heartbroken. He had this baby won.
Yeah, Dad comes home a winner, but the heartbreak of his son, Bo Briggs.
He's actually going to have to go right by him here in the final turn and then go on up over the tabletop. There's the checkered flag, and the victory goes to your winner, the number 24, Bob Briggs, not Bo.
We'll take a look at it again as you see the utter despair on the part of Bo Briggs, and why not? He had this thing won.
You can see he's totally in control. He literally has to make some kind of mistake for Dad to catch him, and what happens? He knows he's done. He's already beating on the steering wheel. He's out of power. Whatever went away, he knew it was gone at that point.
And there's Dad taking the checkers. Bob Briggs now won 3 of these in a row. There they are celebrating the win. Dan Moriarty's going to catch up with him.
Next up, obviously, as you
Guys,
can see, we have Thunderbikes, and there's 20 of them.
you told me before the main event, you know, your son's learning from you. Is he learning too much?
He was going to be tough. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to catch him. Once I did, I didn't know if I was going to be able to pass him. He was doing such a good job. I was so proud of him.
3 weeks in a row.
Yep, 3 weeks in a row. I'm on a roll. We're going to El Paso in a couple of weeks. I definitely got to go now.
Bo, what's he teaching you to make you better?
I'm just trying to watch him as best I can, follow his line, and just be the best I can as well, you know? I mean, he must have got a bad start or stuck behind somebody, but I was glad I had him up behind me.
Way to go, Bo. Way to go, Bobby. Take care. Hey, guys, back upstairs to you.
All right, thanks, Dan. Bob Briggs, our winner.
Takes the victory over Fay and Baker, and then in the point standings, Price now leads comfortably over Kozar.
Great meal.
Uh-oh, gas. And it doesn't get easier than this. Just log on at pacemotorsports.com. Then get to the show tomorrow and Sunday, or make it a Mega Monster weekend and go to both shows. The Monster Jam Summer Slam World Tour rages on in June with car crushing mania in full swing. Catch them in Syracuse, New York, June 5th at the New York State Fairgrounds. Log on and get Monster Jam tickets today at pacemotorsports.com.
Hey, we got good racing here in San Diego tonight. And there's Jerry Welchel as we get ready now for the Super Modified Buggies main event. Here's how they'll line up. Welchel, Nichols, Witherell, and Fodrell have the best shot. That's because they're on row 1.
Well, it's like an all-star lineup on that front row. Guy I want to keep my eye on is number 5, Steve Salenbach, who has really become one of the most improved drivers on the circuit. Doesn't have a great starting spot, but let's see how he can work his way through this very tough Super Modified Buggy field.
Green flag is out, and oh my, they really bunch up racing to that whole shot.
Well, you've got one hooked in the back of the pack. I can't get the numbers, but one was actually riding on the other. Now everybody is busted free. There are parts flying, pieces flying on the course. This is wild. In the meantime, you got to get up front to get away from the madness. And indeed, that is what has happened for the number 35 machine.
Gary Gall.
Yeah, Gary
Gall is up there on front. He got the whole shot, and let's see now if he's able to hold on to it.
Well, look at that traffic going through the turn. Now you get yourself a chance to open up a little bit on the tabletop, and you get, kind of sweeping into the next turn. But, boy, those hairpin turns are just so tight with these buggies, and that's where you can win or lose it. And look at Welchel moving in on the lead.
We've heard Welchel talk about it. He likes to make that pass. You know, likes to set up on the outside, then pinch a guy off coming in when you make around that turn. That's exactly what he's trying to do there. And Gall is trying his best to hold him off. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Welchel is pretty strong. We move ahead now to lap number 5, and it's Welchel still trying to make the move on Gary Gall.
Now, Gall had trouble earlier in the race keeping all 4 wheels on the ground and holding the line, but he's looking a lot better here. Still, Welchel is just staying right with him. He's going to push him and try to make him make a mistake.
He almost got those front wheels up under. And he can't make the pass here. He came close to it. Now he's going to set it up outside and makes the pass.
Very important the way the move was made, too. Remember, Jerry was a little miffed after being called for rough driving in the heat. There was no contact there. Absolutely clean pass for the lead by Welchel.
And now can Jerry Welchel hold on, or will Gary Gall be able to make a move back on him? I think Welchel's experience pays off here. 2 laps left to go.
Jerry Welchel now trying to check out on the field, looking to grab the victory, and you can see he's got it opened up, able to put Gall a little bit further behind and stretch the lead out, get some breathing room, because on this course with this many tough competitors, you never know what's going to happen in front of you.
Jerry Welchel, who also races the trucks as well as these super modified buggies.
He's the busiest man here tonight. No doubt about
he's
that.
out in front.
Boy, he's having just a great run right now, too. Jerry Welchel, and again, with the kind of points battle that they're involved in right now, he wants to be able to gain some ground and grab that top spot if possible.
White flag is out, and Welchel just 6 points behind leader Corey Witherall. He's in 3rd place, but it is really tight in the points here in this series.
So this will be a key win for him if he can get it. Also, he would join Witherall as the only 2-time winners here in 1999 on the circuit, as Corey has picked up 2 wins. Welchel earlier won in St. Louis, trying to win now in San Diego.
And the big point is remember, he was penalized for rough driving earlier, and none of that here. This has been clean all the way as Jerry Welchel takes the checkers.
Outstanding run, outstanding performance, and as we said, he just kept waiting until he got a chance to make the move on Gall. Made it beautifully.
Well, this time, as we watch that pass one more time, Dan Moriarty is catching up to Jerry Welchel.
Jerry, you got to leave the helmet on. You got places to go, things to do.
Yeah, damn straight, man. I got to go win another one in the truck, hopefully.
Now, when you came out from the last truck, and you had the problem, did this motivate you more to get out there and kick some butt?
Oh, heck yeah, man. It fired me up. I'm fired up and ready to go in that truck, too. I mean, you know, we had a good start in that race, and we knocked him dead. Now we're going to do it again right now.
Time to get that truck, get this thing out of here, leave the helmet on. Let's go and take 2 in a row.
He is fired up. Gary Gall finishes 2nd.
Indeed, Henry Brown with a 3rd, but look at Corey Witherall ending up in 6th place in the main event. What does that do to the point standings? It creates a dead heat between Witherall and Welchel.
This is going to be some battle. We got a big battle in the trucks coming up in just a moment. You hang with us on Motor Madness.
You want to know who's
Madness. A lot of thrashing going on. Let's check it out with Dan.
Stacy, what's happening?
Randy broke an I-beam, pulled the Heim joint out, and broke the radius arm. Right now we're trying to get it patched back together so he can at least start the main. We might make it. We ran out of wire. If we can get some more wire in here, hopefully we can get him back in the main.
What is it with you guys and you say, we'll get him back in so we can start this race? He's your competition.
He might be my competition, but I tell you what, if he's not out on the track, I can't race against him.
Stacy Pike helping out Randy Eller, who is a competitor. There you see the lineup for this main event.
Stadium Sport Trucks, and there's row number 3, and Eller will indeed make it out to start on the tail of the field. We get ready for the green flag, and it's Bill Rickey, the United States Off-Road Championship Series flagman, who gives them the green and gets them started.
And again, as we've seen in these other series, going down into that hole shot, there is really bunched up. And I love to watch these trucks get some air on those table jumps.
I'll tell you what, all that adrenaline from the last race got Jerry Welchel off to a great start, but he's having trouble trying to hold the lead as Chris Brandt has come after him. And now in the back of the pack, we're really getting rough back there.
I'll tell you.
That's Lee O'Donnell, one of the guys tied for the points lead, and he just took a beating back there.
Chris Brandt is in that red truck on the inside, and there's a couple of guys who were pretty much slammed together. The number 2 of Pete Schred and the 88 there of Don Ponder. And now there has been a pass.
And there's somebody over the wall. It's Bob Lee Beyer, who has absolutely gone over the retaining wall. On his lid, word is he's okay. They'll try and get him back up on all fours and back in the race.
And Welchel and Brand going side by side together. And
inside with Jerry Welchel now. This is going to be exciting. Look at this, Mike, as he comes up over the tabletop. Wow.
Well, you can see all the work that he has to do, not just with the steering wheel, but with the gear shift as well. It's you're pretty busy inside the cockpit of that truck.
And you can see how little time you actually have to see what's in front of you because you're constantly going up and down and fighting and turning. These guys are amazing athletes, the way they can get around this course.
Jerry Welchel is now the race leader. Brandt is right behind him. But it is Welchel, who's already won one event here tonight, who is out in front.
Brandt's not giving him any room, though. Chris Brandt is really staying right on him out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. He's got that Toyota tucked up right in behind Welchel, and he's just going to keep pushing him and keep pushing him. You can see that.
Welchel driving a straight line, staying pretty much the same every lap around. I would think, though, that the fact that he's driven here in 2 events would help him in this one because he's just giving him that much more time on the track to find that line around.
Well, you got it. I mean, this may be even more critical than, like, let's say certain types of stock car open wheel races are always talking about seat time. But here, you've got to know every lap what you're going to run up against because of all the obstacles. And I agree with you. As we go back inside the cockpit with Welchel, this is an advantage for him.
Maybe one disadvantage. He's going to be plumb wore out. This event is over tonight. A couple of events. Hey, there's a truck. It's over on its lid. Let's see who it is.
Pete Soren out of Glendale.
Soren, right.
Yeah, he has gone over and trying right now. It looks like he's trying to get some help.
Something may be on fire. I think something's on fire on that truck. And he's trying to get maybe a fire extinguisher. You can see a flame inside in there.
Absolutely. Now note that the caution is only out in that corner on that part of the course. They have not put a caution out on the whole course. So everybody continues to race except when they get in that corner, they kind of hold the line to go through the problem and then get back to full throttle.
And you're seeing the experience of Welchel in this kind of a situation as well. And they're the corner workers waving the yellow there as they're trying to extinguish the flames.
See how they both slowed down in the turn, and now they're going to hammer it again coming out. The caution ends once they get around the hazard.
This would definitely be an advantage for the leader because he kind of sets that pace on that caution, and then the guy behind him has to wait until Welchel puts the hammer down before he can do it.
Trying to get the double. Jerry Welchel off to the lead. Now sitting there in the number 3 spot is Stacy Pike, who's been having a solid season all year long here in the Stadium Sport Trucks. And Pike is trying to really start to reel in that top 2. And, you know, he might be a player before this thing's over.
Well, let's remember, Pike's had a busy night tonight. We saw him there a moment ago working on the truck of Randy Eller, trying to make sure he would be here in this main event. These guys all work together, care about each other. When they get out on the track, it is each man for himself.
You might have noticed as they went by that time, Soren in the number 2, his truck is back over on all fours, but he's not been able to get it fired and moving again. So there's still caution on that part of the course.
We'll see what kind of effect that has here on the end of the race as the trucks take that hairpin turn, and we go back on board with Jerry Welchel. You can see him really working that steering wheel as well as that gear shift to get around that stalled truck on the course.
Now they're trying to get it fired up. You can see the smoke coming out. Now Brandt makes the move to the inside. The lap traffic is having a play here. Welchel had to slow down because of the lap traffic, and Brandt has moved to the inside and grabbed the lead. But Welchel is not going to let it go that easy. Wow, what a race.
Welchel seems to have had the stronger truck. We'll see if he can. Oh, my. And Brandt
Bob Lee Beyer again.
Bob Lee Beyer flipped over as Brandt had nowhere to go.
Brandt just, you know, I don't think it was necessarily intentional, but it was kind of like he's battling Welchel for the lead. The lap car was in front of him, and bang, he was on his roof. So the lap truck of Bob Lee Beyer ends up flipping as Chris Brandt has control with 1 lap to go.
Now the white flag is out, and that move by Brandt may have been the key in the race. I'm not sure that Welchel has enough time to catch him now, as Brandt in the red number 5 out in front.
The Toyota out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, setting the pace, and again, it was a daring, bold move as he was able to get the lead. But remember, Jerry Welchel had the advantage, but you never know with lap traffic.
If he hadn't been aggressive in that turn, Welchel would have gotten him, would have gotten by.
Absolutely.
He had to do that.
But the checkered flag goes out, and the checkers will go to Chris Brandt of Council Bluffs, Iowa, your winner here at San Diego as part of the Pace Motorsports U.S. Off-Road Championship Series. What a race.
It was a great one. Let's take another look at the big move that got Brandt by. Here it goes.
Well, they're in lap traffic, and you see he barely nudged him. He really didn't. It was definitely not intentional. But again, like you say, Mike, if he just completely backs off at that point, he'd have lost the race.
Taking the checkers is Chris Brandt. Jerry Welchel comes home second, and that second place is good enough to give him the points lead. Dan's with our winner.
One heck of a win.
Oh, it's exciting. I don't even know where to start. Jerry was running really good and really hard, and I didn't know if I'd be able to get around him, but that lap traffic sure helped out.
Jerry wasn't only running good, Jerry was all warmed up from his other race.
He knew what was going on out there, that's for sure. Took a few laps to figure it out myself.
You guys were hitting rubber and swapping paint on every single curve.
That's racing, all right?
That was stadium truck racing like I've never seen before.
Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Jerry's a real privilege to drive with Jerry. He's an awesome driver.
I love hearing that from you guys. You had fun.
Oh, excellent. That was the greatest time ever.
Congrats, Chris. Hey, Larry Bayer had a tough night, the defending champion in this series, and ouch against the guardrail. Hey, Dan, what's up next week?
Next week, we feature the Handlebar Series, and I do not mean Raleigh Fingers Mustache. Right here, this finish line, you're going to see some finishes like never before. I said bumping and grinding. Bumping and grinding? Look at these guys. They do not hold back. Now, Tim Farr in the Pro Quads, he guaranteed a season victory. Let's see how he's delivering. And the Thunder Bikes, my God. Women, don't let your sons grow up to do this. These guys are nuts. From the floor, that's it for Dan Moriarty. Hogger, Dogger, take it away. I'll see you next week. Can it get any better?
I don't think so. Hey, for Dan and Scott Douglas, I'm Mike Hogwood. We'll see you next weekend on Motor Madness.